I am a student of history. And I remember learning in high school about robber barons. Do you ever, people hear about robber barons? Robber barons were the people who were around in the 18th century, like Carnegie and Rockefeller, who built their fortunes on the backs of working people. Well, now we have our own Carnegie and Rockefeller. Their names are Koch and Trump. Don't mean to offend anyone. It's time, brothers and sisters, that we told them enough is enough. We're tired of the bullshit. The labor movement has done a lot of things for a lot of people. But what the people that I represent, the majority of the people I represent, or benefit most from unions, those are people of color and women. And brothers and sisters, this is the year of women. And we're not going to let anybody take away from us what others fought for and died for, our unions. Unions united shall never be defeated.
We know we're under attack, but to see everyone join together like this is really heartening, I think, and it should be for all of us, because there's a couple of things that those behind this case don't want everybody to recognize. And they don't want everybody else to recognize the fact that union members in this country, for a reason, make, on average, $11,000 more a year than non-union members. And when the labor movement is strong, and when we are vibrant, and when we are at our best, we not only improve the lives of our members, we raise the standard of living and the quality of life for all working men and women. When we pass legislation to help our members succeed, but everyone does better. When we fought last year for a $15 minimum wage, it doesn't say $15 minimum wage, but only for union members. We passed legislation for paid family leave. It doesn't say paid family leave, but only for union members. So we are strong, everybody prospers. And what the right-wing ideologues don't want everybody to really think about and talk about, who, by the way, are funding the lawyers for Mr. Janus, by the way, who willfully joined that workplace when he knew it was already a union, and continued to make a higher wage. I don't see him giving the money back 11 years later, and every time he went to the doctor over the past 11 years, I don't see him reimbursing his union or the state of Illinois for that cost, but he understood it. And what the right-wing ideologues don't want is they don't want a situation where everyone has a raised standard of living, right? Because it's less for corporate profits, it's less for the shareholders, it's more for the 1%, and it's less for the rest of us. But the fact of the matter is this, what I see here today, this is a beautiful thing. And I was in Manhattan on Saturday for that rally, and I saw the rallies across the country. At the end of the day, we're going to be okay. It's going to be tough. But the fact of the matter is they really don't know what they've started. Because they don't recognize, they don't. There's a reason why we're at a point now where, in the latest poll, 63% of this country now supports unions. Why is that? Because they see the difference between the haves and the have-nots. They see the difference between those of the privileged few and everybody else. And we're starting to see everyone say, enough is enough. But at the end of the day, brothers and sisters, we're going to win. We're going to come out ahead. It's going to take some time. Then there are going to be some bumps on the road over the next few months. It's going to happen. But we're going to be okay, and we're going to be stronger in the long haul, because they don't understand who we are exactly. They really don't understand what they've done. You see, we call each other brothers and sisters. We really are a family. You don't have to be blood related to be a family, right? We don't have to look alike or talk alike or sound alike to be part of a family. A family is a group of people who come together for a lot of different reasons, right? Because we care about one another, we support one another, we help one another, and we pick each other up when one of us falls down. And in the labor movement, if you pick on one of us, it means you have to deal with all of us. That's what a family is. We should be cognizant of what's happening. And I urge you to speak to your brothers and sisters. When this case is rendered and the verdict is rendered in a few months from now, and we see how this transpires, to understand how important it is to talk to one another. to continue to pay your dues, to continue to participate. Because if you don't, and if they don't, we're going to let them win. And we're going to see lower wages and benefits for our family, my family, your family, and everyone for years to come. And we can't allow that to happen. So at the end of the day, we will win because we know what we're fighting for. You see, it's interesting. We fight for our children. We fight for our families. We fight for our brothers and sisters who, there may be brothers and sisters here who never met each other before. Certainly on Saturday, we had public sector, private sector, building trades unions, didn't know each other, but they were there that day because they knew what they were fighting for. That's the whole thing here. We have it. We have everything that we need right here for ourselves. We fight from our hearts. Our opponents and our adversaries, remember, fight from their wallets. We fight for each other. We fight for the future of this movement. We fight for our families. We fight for our brothers and sisters who we may or may not know. They fight for bottom line profits. And at the end of the day, brothers and sisters, I think you're with me on this. I will take heart over profits every day of the week because you can't put a price tag on that heart. You cannot put a price tag on the dedication and commitment we have to one another as union brothers and sisters. We have those things they don't. We win, they lose when we stand together. So I say to you, brothers and sisters, bumps in the road, we've get through that before, we'll get through it again. But we just stand together and we join together and we fight together and we raise our voices together. We will never let them win. We will have a better and brighter future for our members and our families and future generations to come. Remember, this is one family. We can get through anything and we will get through everything together. Thank you very much.
Nothing but bad news, whether it is on labor, whether it is regarding education and privatization, whether it's the environment, whether it's healthcare, guns, or the lack of gun control and common sense, and whether it's workers and attacks on working families, middle-class families, and workers in general. So we know that those attacks are they are an attack on all of us, with each new attack, and we know that that we must take those attacks and stand stronger. And I often say to folks at numerous rallies that I have been at as well, don't get angry, get active. So whether we get more bad news on the Supreme Court decision or not, we have to channel our energy, channel our anger, and just continue to be more active to make sure that New York and every state stands strong in support of their workers. It is unfortunate. It's more than unfortunate. It is a disgrace in many ways, the news that is coming out of DC. But we have to take that. And I love the line that Mario used as well, that united we bargain, divided we beg. And that one I'm going to keep chanting in my own head, quite frankly. And another line that I have heard that I chuckled with, but I still think it's a good one, calling this a right to work, calling this decision or what any state is doing a right to work is like telling a drowning person they have a right to swim. It doesn't work. It's not the lifeboat we want.
Good to be in the House of Labor, CSEA and PEF. I see a sign, we are stronger together. Yes, we certainly are. We are stronger together in unity when we are all together. What they would love to do, and I was just looking around and said, they would love to take us apart. Take us apart, take you, then take you, and you say, well, maybe they're not coming after me. They're coming after all of us. And if we stick together, we stand strong together, they cannot hurt us. They cannot hurt us if we all stick with the union. We will hear even more wonderful stories about what the union was able to do for each member. If we stick together, we do not allow them to divide us on any means. We will come out of this stronger. Thank you.
We have seen it time and time again. I was there in Schenectady at the main gate when retired union workers had their benefits taken away from them. Do we remember that? Because we were there at the main gate to stop them, to fight against that. We were there at Nathan Latour when nurses were locked out because they were in a fight for fair wages. We were there for that as well. We have been there in the fight for safe staffing for our nurses, for our healthcare centers, And we have been there when CWA rallied not too long ago. They were on strike to stand up against Verizon, right? Yeah. And we will be there again. Are we going to be there again in this fight? Yeah. We're going to be there together, and it's going to be stronger than ever, because the truth is we have seen our strength when we come together, what united workers can do when we all come together. We have seen the power of organized labor when we come together. And make no mistake, this is the biggest attack we have faced so far. You have been there for me, and I'm very proud to be there for you to take on organized forces attacking our unions over and over again. I will be there for you. I will be there for your families, just as you have been there for me, and you have been there for my family. Today, every day, we have to continue this fight so that organized labor continues to thrive, not just here in the Capital District, not just here in New York State, but across the entire nation. Yes, they are at the gate. They're at the gate, and they're trying to push the gate down. But if we stand together, we can stop them. Are you out there, CSEA? Are you out there? You gotta do better than that. Are you out there, CSEA? The truth is, American workers have built the greatest middle class in history, and they built it by fighting for it. Are you ready to fight for it? Yeah!